All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning out on the West Coast. We're here live for this week's MSP Success webinar. And I'm real happy to have Janet Hendrickson on the call here from Intermedia. Been doing a lot with Robin here. We've been doing some partner enablement webinars with their crew. And this is really one of the hottest topics that I've been hearing with all of our members is cloud communications. How can I integrate this into what I'm doing, maximizing current clients and the spend that I have as an MSP, but then also how do I maximize or be able to, from a lead generation standpoint, use something else other than just MSP services to be able to get my foot in the door. And Intermedia's got a great solution. Janet's got a ton of experience in the channel here, and she's going to share a lot of that of what they're doing at Intermedia, and really giving you some great options to be able to look at for how you can take advantage of this. That I know a lot of MSPs are not currently taking advantage of, and the ones that I do see of doing this are just really getting traction on it with their clients, especially with the work from home of what's going on right now. It's kind of enabled this whole side of the business to be able to make it of where it's much easier to be able to approach and sell. So Janet, with that, I'm going to turn it directly over to you, and I'll let you take it away. I do want to actually mention something for everyone that's out there here is that we do have the Q&A side of things and also the chat. If you have any just regular comments, not questions, go ahead and use the chat here. If you have questions, go ahead and use the Q&A button there on your screen. That'll allow us to be able to sift and sort those a little bit better and make sure that we get all of your questions answered. So with that, Janet, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And thank you to the entire Robbins family for hosting this session today. I really appreciate everyone joining us today, whether you're watching from home, your office, or what's become the 2020 norm, your home office, which I'm presenting from in beautiful Lincoln, California. I also want to seriously thank you all for joining today because I know it's a very busy time of the year. It's end of month, end of quarter, end of year. So for you to take some time with us today is monumental. So thank you again. And I just want to give one more shout out to Kim Sesenya. She's our Intermedia Director of Global Channel Marketing. She invited me to present the Intermedia story today. So I'm very excited to share with you about Intermedia, the company, our award-winning cloud business solution set, and our partner programs and the resources we provide to our partner programs to build upon their UC and contact center practice, or to even introduce it new into your portfolio. Because there's a lot of folks out there who with 2020 may not have been selling UC and contact center, and by gum they are now, especially with the work from home. So we'll go ahead, we'll try to keep this fun and lively. I'm a bit of an animated person. I like to keep it light, but it is a serious note because, you know, there has been a lot going on this year, obviously. So I'll take you through that information, and then I'm going to be highlighting what we call our blueprint for success. So over the past year in my new role as Strategic Partner Enablement Manager, and I've been with Intermedia now for about 2 years. I've been in the channel for since 2005, as Jeff may have mentioned, and in technology, a whole lot more. But, you know, I started when I was 13. So we will be talking about that blueprint to success, and really what we found through interviewing our most successful partners, what their DNA is to build a successful unified communication and contact center practice. So as we have our discussion today, I want you to keep in mind the word partnership. It's very important to us here. As you can see, we work for you, and we believe in that mantra. So we work for our partners. We don't sell around or through. We support you 100%. We follow you that lead. We are a partner first, channel first company. So do keep in mind that word partnership versus vendorship. And I'm going to be using that theme multiple times here today. And you may hear a little bit of an accent from time to time. I grew up on the East Coast, and though I've been on the West Coast since 1992, it's really hard to lose it. So I'll try to keep that under control. So about Intermedia, for those of you who have not heard of us, we've been around for a very long time, since 1995, which is in the technology industry is quite a milestone. So we are a very established, trusted business cloud solution provider. Again, we started in 1995, and just a year later, we launched our first web hosting solution. Just a few short years after that, we launched our first Cloud Exchange email hosted service, which jettisoned Intermedia into being the largest third-party solution provider in the Exchange hosted email world. So that's pretty huge. So we're still the largest third-party solution provider, only behind Microsoft, of course. And that is still a huge part of our practice today, though we will be concentrating on our unified communication and contact center practice. I want you to keep in mind that we do also have our data services. And we'll talk a little bit more, especially for managed service providers, solution providers, VARs, agents, whatever you categorize yourself as. It's important to know that we have a whole business cloud solution set out there so that you may enable your partner or your customers. So moving along the timeline, and I'm only going to hit the milestones. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but there are some important factors to talk about throughout our history because it is important. After 2000, I'm going to fast forward to 2013, where we acquired Access Line. So Access Line is was, they're part of Intermedia now, of course, but they were one of the largest hosted PBX telephony service solution providers out there. And like Intermedia, they built everything from the ground up. And they too were a long-standing, established, trusted company. So you're going to see a theme as we go through the Intermedia acquisition line is we look to companies that have a similar DNA, a similar culture, a similar methodology and philosophy about building from the ground up. And then when you look into 2016, just a few years later, after we acquired Access Line, we received our first JD Power certified support. Now, for those of you who know JD Power's from, the best cars, the best trucks, well, if you ever go to their website, they have a plethora of certifications they provide. And one of those being the JD Power certified support. Very difficult to acquire this. This is not something that you pay for. This is something that you earn, and they put you through the paces. And I'm very excited to share that I just found out that we just now received our 5th consecutive JD Power certified award. So that's pretty amazing. And to my knowledge, we are the only business cloud solution provider out there that's received the award once, let alone 5 consecutive years. So with that, we move on to 2017, which was a very exciting time here at Intermedia. We launched our unified communication as a service solution, which we call Unite. And that was an amazing accomplishment. And as you know, it's a very hot topic and in a hot market, and we'll talk more about that shortly. So in 2017, we launched Unite, and Unite is more than just voice and video. It's voice, video conferencing, SMS and text. It's also secure file storage and backup, which is a differentiator in the market, because now we're talking about a full collaboration suite with not just video conferencing, telephony, and chat, but we also now have a secure file storage and backup mechanism so that you can share your content with ease and care. And then as we move to good old 2019, we have our acquisition of Talax. Very exciting. So Talax, if you've never heard of them, they were a Toronto-based company. They had they still have, again, under Intermedia, a full telephony and multi-channel, so single channel and multi-channel contact center solution. Now, a key theme to recognize here is, again, is all these companies were longstanding, everything built their tech up, and there's 2 important things. Number one, Intermedia, we're always innovating, we're always looking forward, we're always looking to make sure that we stay competitive and our partners stay competitive in the marketplace. And then number 2 is that we own our own tech. So it's all proprietary. We don't have to worry about any ugly divorces down the road. And as you've seen over the past few years, and yes, it's happened before, but it's been very active the last few years, we've seen a lot of acquisitions take place where some of our competitors lost feature and functionality because another competitor bought one of their best of breed partners. So no one in the partner community ever wants to make that call and say, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that feature functionality that you've been using for the last few months, Well, you're not going to have that for a while. The good news is we're going to find an alternative. Oh, but not quite sure when that is. I'll have to call you back on that. No one wants to make that call ever, and you never have to worry about that with intermedia. So moving back to that marketplace discussion, it is massive, and the numbers may actually increase after this past year. But if you look at a global scale, with unified communication as a service market only, we're looking at $40+ billion globally. If you look at the contact center, whether it be single channel or multi-channel, we're looking at over $30 billion. And that's only going to increase. So to break that down, if you think about your customer base, and if you've been selling telephony and you have some premise-based customers, if you look at it globally, hundreds of millions of seats, premise-based seats that are going to look to move to the cloud at one point or another. And if you're not selling to them, someone else will. So definitely you want to make sure you're already having those conversations. You probably have with this past year with the work from home phenomenon, I'm going to say, because a lot of us were already working from home, but it's escalated as of late with people in retail, restaurants, legal, healthcare, you name it. So we've really had to jump up that mobility scale. But it's a huge marketplace that we want to make sure that you're equipped to jump into and master. And master, by that, we like to think of it as cloud made easy. So with intermedia, you always hear, well, with other folks, you always hear of a single pane of glass, one single partner portal. And trust me, over my many, many years in the business, I've seen a lot of partner portals. And by far, intermedia is the best one that I've ever had the privilege of using. And what do I mean by single pane of glass? Well, I mean that when you log into our intermedia partner portal, everything's accessible via that one single pane of glass. So if I'm a partner, I'm a newly brought on partner for intermedia, what do I have access to from that primary portal? I'm able to attend Intermedia University and take free online courses. I'm going to say that again, free online courses, free online certification for all of our solution set. You have access to all of our marketing resources, whether that be co-branded data sheets, campaigns in a box, webinars in a box, content for your website. We have all of that information there in one-stop shop. We also have a knowledge base, an extensive knowledge base that we're always adding to. So if you have a question, you can quickly go there. Or if you have another question, you can call our partner concierge desk that you have access to. You have our technical support desk, that JD Powers certified support desk to help you. You also can do everything in our portal from quoting to provisioning to billing to supporting your partners. So if you're used to that private label, white label solution provider methodology with your customer set, you can do all of that within our partner portal. So that's one of the things that I will definitely stress is the ease of use. We try to make it easy as possible. We want to make things crazy simple for our partners, because we know that we want you out there feeling confident selling with ease, knowing that it's easy to provide a quote to your customer, that it's easy to provide support, that it's easy to turn up service. We want to make it so you can go out and sell more, make more money, keep the lights on, and keep your customers their lights on as well. So the work from home. Yes, we all love working from home. For those of us who have been road warriors for quite some time, we're kind of used to it, but less of the road warring and more of the working from home phenomenon. So with 2020, it became very clear to a lot of folks out there that it was something that if they weren't entertaining, that they were forced to entertain. And thankfully, any partner of Intermedia's, we were able to accommodate that move very quickly. So we have a lot of how we won stories, which I'm happy to have one-on-one conversations with folks later. But I can tell you, we've had a lot of customers who went from a premise-based situation to a cloud telephony, cloud UC situation within days, because they had no choice. They had to get their folks working remotely as quickly as possible, whether that be from a desktop app, a mobile app, using their phone. We had to do it very quickly. So I would say some of the key things that we've learned over this past year is that customers want to make sure, businesses want to make sure that their employees are healthy, well, and safe. are able to have the tools they need to work successfully and maintain the company's objectives, as well as being able to maintain communication with their customers. That's key, because you never want to miss that call, especially now. There's a ton of retailers out there. We don't know if they're open, sadly. We don't know if some restaurants are open. Maybe the website says they are, but we call and we get a busy signal. You never want to get that busy signal. You never want to miss that call. And in never wanting to miss that call leads up to our 5 nines uptime. That's key. So you as a partner, when you're selling a service or a solution to your customers, you need to do so with confidence. You need to know that that solution is never going to fail. You need to know that your customers are always going to be happy, always going to be connected. And with Intermediate, we have that 5 nines guarantee uptime with our SLAs. We have redundant data centers on the East and West Coast to ensure that uptime is maintained. And one of the other things too is with that is we believe we need to earn your business, our partner's business every single day, every single month, every single year. So with that, when you partner up with Intermedia, you don't enter into a contract. It's a month-to-month relationship. Now, you as the partner may bring your customer into a 1-year, 3-year, 5-year contract, whatever your normal process is. But with Intermedia, you're always month to month, because look, it's been a challenging year. We've had some people that have spun up, they've increased staff, they've decreased staff. In some cases, they may have had to cancel service for a while, and we don't want anyone to feel the pain from that. So if you happen to get into a year contract with a customer, and unfortunately they had to cancel service because maybe they were acquired or they had to close down for a few months, then we don't want you to have to feel that you still are obligated to pay on that. So it's very important for us to know that we earn your business every day. We're month to month with you. And of course, we have that JD Power certified support to back it up. Now, 5 years running consecutive. Yay. And with that, worry-free support. We have a worry-free experience. So again, with Intermedia, we want to make sure that our partners are selling with confidence. You have a reliable, secure solution that you can provide to your customers. You want to make sure that you're providing the best customer experience. We talk about it all the time, customer experience. But it's true, you want to make sure that your customers are able to easily do that work from home transformation, that if they want to have a mobile workforce, they're able to do so very easily, and you want to be able to provide that as well. Compliances, certifications, we want to make sure that everything that your customer needs is available to you. So we try to keep that as easy as possible, easy peasy. We like that. We like the fact that we like to be easy to work with, and so that you can be easy to support and work with your customer. And wait, what's this about billing and taxation? So one of the key differentiators with Intermedia is that we take care, we calculate and remit all of the taxes on behalf of our partners. So yes, that's what I said. I certainly said that. And a lot of our competitors don't do that. So keep that in mind. That's a very important topic. I'm going to repeat it again. So if you come into being a reseller partner, whether it's under the co-brand or private label, and I'll get into that in a little bit down the road, we calculate and remit all the taxes on behalf of our partners, and we just pass through that payment over to our partners. So if you're in Tennessee and you sell to another state, you don't have to worry about the taxes in another state. We'll take care of that for you. So earlier I mentioned something about crazy simple, and that again is one of our mantras. We want to keep things crazy simple. Here at Intermedia, we believe that you should have one neck to hug and not multiple necks to hug. So it goes down to a wide variety of things. But for the main priority, when we launched our Unite, our Unified Communication Collaboration Solution, it's a single platform again. It's one low monthly rate because we don't get into contracts with our partners. And you have the ability to have a phone call, have a conference call, have a video chat like we're doing today, have a contact center, whether it's single channel or multi-channel. And by multi-channel, being able to do those text reminders that the doctor's appointment's there, or the text reminder that your food's about to be delivered, emails, secure file storage, and backup. So for this, We like to be that one neck to hug for our partners, but then in kind, we want our partners to be that one neck to hug for the customers. So yes, it makes the customer more sticky with our partners, of course, but it's much nicer to call up that dependable partner that we trust, that's local. Maybe they're just down the road from us versus calling that big vendor in the sky and being placed on hold for 15, 20, 3 hours later. This way they contact you, they have all those services. The other thing about that too is it makes it easier for our partners to support. Because let's face it, you want to make sure that you provide every single solitary solution you can to your customer base. And that may be a variety of applications. Well, it's much easier to manage one application versus 10, 11, 12. So we do like to keep that crazy simple. And part of that crazy simple mentality is, again, our complete solution. So if you have a customer, and it's very important because we have a lot of folks when they ran to that work from home scenario, they really weren't ready to leave their premise-based phone solution, but they needed to have some of their folks, maybe their customer service folks, maybe they actually did have a little mini contact center. They needed those agents to be able to work remotely. So with our solution, yes, it's fully integrated. So if you sell Unite, and I'll get into our other name for that here in a second, but if you sell Unite, you can also sell them contact center and it's fully integrated. However, if you have someone who's premise-based and they're not ready to move off that phone system, but they need some of those added things like those text message reminders that their food's being delivered, that their doctor or dentist appointment, make sure that they attend that, then you can lay the contact center, intermediate contact center over top of that premise-based system. So they don't have to change everything out all at once, which can be very stressful for people, especially this past year. It was a little scary for a lot of folks to do that. Now, I will say that we've had quite a few customers who did start out that way, and they placed the contact center over top of their premise space, but then realized that it was just better to move everything to the cloud versus having bits and pieces in the cloud. So for simplicity's sake, they did make that migration over. Now let's get into the good stuff. There are reseller programs. So me being a strategic partner enablement manager, this is my favorite thing. Again, been in the channel for a long time. I love the partner. I love the ecosystem, and I'm very proud of what we have to offer to our partner community. So if you've been selling under the agent model, which we call the advisor model, we absolutely have that opportunity to do so. You can go out there, find a lead, close a deal, send it over events to us, and we'll take it from there. We'll do all the provisioning, we'll set up the support, we'll be that single point of contact for your customer. Again, that JD Power certified support behind it, so you know you can sell with confidence and your customer is going to be supported properly. But one of the key differentiators about our advisor program is that we permit our partners to create their own quote. Well, I'm going to say that again, because that is a key differentiator in the agent world. We at Intermedia allow our advisor/agent model to create their own quote. Why is that important? Well, no bottlenecks. If you're happy to be sitting or speaking with a customer and you need to get them a quick quote out, you can do that right then and there. If you happen to be speaking with your assigned channel manager at Intermedia and they created the quote, maybe they created it for 25 users, you have a further discussion with the customer and you realize they actually need 30, well, you can go in and change that quote and get that out to the customer right away. You don't have to wait 5 minutes, 5 hours, 24 hours to get that revised quote out to them. So that's a key differentiator for us. And you have all that access through that partner portal. Now, if you're more along the reseller mode, you've been selling under a private label or a white label, or you prefer to own the entire customer experience from prospecting to quoting to closing to billing to supporting, then one of our reseller models is going to be probably more in line with the way you run your business. So we have two buckets for this. We have what we call our private label model, and then we have what we call our co-branded. So what's the difference? Really, it's just how you go to market. It's all the same programs. So basically think of the reseller model as you're buying wholesale. You're going to buy it wholesale, you're going to mark it up, you're going to control those margins, which a lot of our folks love to do that, especially if they've been selling voice premise for quite a long time. And even in the managed print world, they're used to that as well, right? So we want to make sure that we enable our partners to do that. So again, all the same benefits. The only difference is how you go to market. So for a lot of our managed print partners, they're used to going to market with, Ricos or Xeroxes. They're used to leveraging that brand name. Well, we wanted to give our partners the ability to do that so they can go out and they can leverage the intermedia name. But if they want to promote their own cloud business solution, which we have many folks doing that, they've created and spent a lot of time and effort and money branding their own cloud solutions, then they can go ahead and wrap our unified communication solution in with that. And it's powered by Elevate. Same exact product, it's just how we go to market. So for managed service providers, value-added reseller solution providers, this is very attractive because they love to bundle services. Because let's face it, if you bundle those services, it keeps the customer sticky. It keeps them with you for a very long time. You're looking for the long tail here. We're looking for the 5, 10, 15, 20-year relationship with that customer, not just looking at the 1-year contract type of relationship.
Hey, Janet, can I ask a question real quick?
Absolutely.
On this? So if you go back to that slide, the one right before that, what do you see for the MSP channel? Is there one of the other of these that you see someone going to more often? Or is it more the advisor model of when someone's just dipping their toe in the water and then they tend to go towards the reseller model? Or is it just all over the place?
No. That's an excellent question. And no, it's not all over the place. Of course not. So with our managed service providers, they actually tend to go the private label. They tend to want to brand their own cloud solution and go with the Elevate. We do have a few folks that want to leverage Intermedia Unite, the name, but the bulk of them, and I don't know what the percentage is, I'd have to ask Kim, our director of channel marketing, but it's definitely in the higher percentile. And especially with the partners that I work with, which are our top strategic partners, I would say 9 out of 10 go with Elevate because they really do want to keep their own branding and they want to just do that powered by. Now, I will say, Jeff, that for a lot of our folks that are getting into contact center for the first time, what they'll do is they'll split the models. So that's one of the cool things too. And another differentiator with Intermedia is when you become a partner, you can sign up as both reseller and advisor. So what a lot of our MSPs will do, just because contact center, it sounds really cool and easy, but there's a lot of complications in the back end, right? So a lot of times what they'll do to dip their toe in is they'll run all the unified communication, so all the Elevate through the reseller model, and then they'll run their contact center through the advisor model until they get their folks ramped up. Now we have a ton of training. We've got our free online courses. For our strategic partners, we have live courses, but we do allow that. And then the other thing too, which it's going to be recorded, so but it does happen. We have a lot of partners, if they get a prospective customer that they feel might be a little bit of a pill to support, they'll throw that one over to the advisor and they'll let us support them instead.
Gotcha. So it sounds like it could be a hybrid of where you're picking and choosing depending on who the customer is. There. Oh, very, very cool. I mean, that definitely is a differentiator of being able to have these dual models. Of what I typically see with a lot of your competitors out there is a one or the other, and you're either locked into one or the other on that model. And on this, of where you've not only can you pick a lane of going one or the other, but from what you just said, you can now also pick a lane by customer if there's certain ones that fit a certain model, or it might even be, I'm just hypothetically, it could be someone that is really too large for you to service, and you don't want to underwhelm them, but you know that you can go on them, the advisor model of where you can still sell that opportunity, but not risking your own operation side of things, because you know it's going to be supported by Intermedia Direct. So you can still make money off of that deal.
Oh, absolutely. And and our commission structure is very generous. It's very comparable to what our competitors are doing out there. And the other key thing that you mentioned that I like is, we have customers out there from, 1 license to 2,000. So based on that partner's makeup, to your point, if they do land a large enterprise customer that they want some assistance with, the advisor is a great way to go.
Yeah, very cool. All right, I'll let you continue there, but that was a question I had written down here, and I saw this. I didn't want to lose it.
No, absolutely. Well, the other thing too, I know I said it twice, but I'm going to say it a third time. The other differentiator with our advisor model is the fact that we let people quote. So with my past life, that wasn't the case, right? And that was the biggest complaint I received from partners is, gosh, I just want to be able to quote myself. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's just not how we run it. And now, I mean, that was one of the biggest attractive things when I joined a couple of years ago. When I saw that, I was like, wait. So anyone can create a quote? That's amazing, right? You can run your business at your own pace. You don't have to wait on us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And definitely keep interjecting. I like to communicate versus, just this. So part of that blueprint, so I did extensive research with all of our top partners, our successful partners. And again, I came up with this blueprint. And one of the things that we noticed is, all the resources that they need. So I'm going to back up a little bit and just talk about our partner program. So under the reseller, now advisors get access to all the authorized as well. But I'm going to focus on the private label, the reseller focus for a few minutes. So if you come in and you want to enter into a partnership with Intermedia, you can either come in as an authorized, so no monthly recurring revenue commit, or if you already have a base you want to flip and you want to get them to cloud before someone else does, then you may want to come in as with a monthly recurring revenue commit, which basically puts you into what we call our volume partner program, our strategic partner program. So it gives you a little bit more. But off the street, if you become a partner, you get a dedicated channel manager. You get all the resources via the partner portal. So all that free training, the free knowledge base, all the marketing tools, access to our partner concierge desk, access to that JD Power certified technical support desk. But then if you want to come in as a more strategic partner, you get all of that. Plus you get a strategic partner enablement manager who basically, I act as the project manager to make sure that all the enablement journey is completed. And I work very closely with multiple teammates over here with Intermedia to make sure that happens. We have all our online prerequisites, but then we have these live, webinar online meeting live for right now, which one day I look forward to actually seeing partners in person again. But we have these live boot camps and we try to keep them interactive. We have some of the best minds in unified communication and contact center working here. And so they'll get in and they'll provide these live sales boot camps, live training boot camps. So sales engineering, technical support. We also have, you'll get a dedicated field channel marketing person. So someone that reports up to Kim will be working with those partners to ensure that the go-to-market strategy is built, that we're fulfilling that all of the information that we have in the portal is necessary. If they're going after a specific vertical, because that's one of the key things too is, Jeff, I don't want people, when partners when they're first starting out to go, I have 10,000 customers I want to flip. Okay, whoa. Let's pick the ones that are ready that are coming out of contract. Let the ones maybe that have had some struggles. Let's go over that sweet spot in the vertical scene. Let's not try to boil the ocean right away. Let's be strategic and methodical about how we go after that. And that channel marketing representative is going to help them build out that go-to-marketing plan to do that. And then with those MRR commit partners, we build up a cadence, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, but we want to make sure we're staying on target, that we're hearing the partner's needs, that we're getting everything in place, things ebb and flow. So we just want to make sure that we stay on target. Quick 30-minute sync and we keep going. So that's key is, come in, test the waters, see what it's like to work with Intermedia, learn the products, and then you can become an MRR commit partner, or you can come in right from the get-go and join that strategic group. Now, a part of that blueprint, other than having the right reseller program, it's having the right plan in place. So again, I spent many, many hours speaking with our top partners, and the three things that definitely came out is they were operationally ready, they were sales ready, and they were marketing ready. So what does that mean? Well, here at Intermedia, it means if you're operationally ready, it means that you, the partner, understand voice billing and understand how it's processed on our side and how to deliver that bill to your customer. The other part of it being operationally ready is making sure that your sales team is properly compensated for cloud sales. And everyone's had a challenge with this, right? They've had a sales team that's been selling premise-based. It's easy, you sell it, boom, they get the commission and go. With cloud, it's been a little bit different. They're not quite sure of how they can do it and keep the sales team excited. And so I sat down with that same partner group and I came up with various uh, compensation plans that I saw that were a pattern. And that's one of the things too, when partners come on as a strategic partner, I can sit down with them and say, okay, here's what we've seen, which compensation plan works best for you and your model today, and they can move on. So that's two key things there with operationally being ready. And then of course, sales ready is making sure that your sales champions are all educated on the solution, make sure that they know all the differentiators. There's a lot of voice solutions out there, so we want to make sure that they understand where we fit well and what the sweet spot is with intermedia. And then of course, being marketing ready. So going back to that channel manager, making sure that they've got their go-to-market strategy, they've updated their content on their website, they've got everything branded, they've got their campaigns ready, they've got some live events ready. So those are key. And the example that we're showing here is that we had a partner in the Pacific Northwest. They've been a longtime voice seller, 20, 25 years, a lot of premise-based folks. And they did just that. They didn't boil the ocean. They went after those folks that were ready to flip, and they knew that we're ready to go into cloud. And I know for some partners, they may go, whoa, 13,000 MRR in 60 days. That seems pretty aggressive. And then you may have a larger partner out there watching today that goes, 13K, that's not much. Well, in my world, in 60 days, if you can book 13K in MRR, I think that's a pretty good 60 days. That's a pretty good 2-month effort. And then along with that, they built up their pipeline to 14K. So they followed that plan. They basically project planned it out and they built that momentum. So within 60 days, they were off and running to the races and they're still knocking it down. So it's not rocket science, but there is some planning and preparation involved to get this up and running. Now, that's for someone who's been selling UC for quite some time. For a lot of partners that we brought on this past year that haven't sold, we go through the same process, but now we're looking at a different base. So it may be someone who's been a copy or print company, right? They've got a lot of people that they've sold to. Now they're going back out to those folks, seeing how they're doing and seeing how they're progressing with that work from home, and they're able to help them. So this blueprint isn't just for people that have sold voice for 20, 30 years. It's for any partner who wants to build a unified communication and contact center practice.
Yeah, and I've seen it a lot recently, this year in particular, that there's a lot of opportunity that's out there and existing client base for MSPs. The MSP model's been around for quite some time now, 14 years, 15 years. You've got that base. And it's exactly what you're saying, is that it's sifting and sorting through to be able to see who's got contracts that are up, who have the needs, who's the right fit specifically for the intermediate solution, who's the right fit, and going after them. And I've been seeing in all different variety of solutions of going out for the MSP market in particular, in a number of people I'm working with, of where they can build up recurring revenue really quick in just low hanging fruit, because it's just there for the taking. And so I'm sure that's a big part of this, of where you've got that right plan. It all depends on who you've got in the pipeline, client base, and everything else to go after. But that's just know, as part of it, is that we've seen it. Robert and I have been working with a lot of MSPs on this, is that it is that low hanging fruit that's out there, especially given what 2020 has happened. It's opened up so many opportunities where people are now willing to have that conversation, and you can ramp up. I mean, that if you look at it of 13K of MRR and you say, I haven't even sold on unified communications anywhere close to that in the past, it's definitely something that you can add on, and it's tends to be fairly easy revenue to be able to go out there and have those conversations, especially when it's an add-on.
And that's the key. It's having those conversations. I actually interviewed a partner salesperson yesterday because they sold a 50-seat deal and an 80-seat deal in the past month. And so I just wanted to kind of get their take on it. And really, he said, it's just all about having the conversation. He just happened to be in their office. So he looked down and he saw the old phone and was like, hey, how's that working for you right now? And what's going on? So, it started off as kind of a jokey conversation, but it led into a real business conversation. And for both of those customers, it took about 60 days for them to make the move, because it is, sometimes daunting to move off their premise-based system. They don't necessarily want to have their folks spending all that time supporting it, because look, when a premise-based phone system goes down, that IT person who's in charge of the entire company, they're solely focused on getting the phones back up. So everything else goes to the back burner. So now with cloud, that doesn't happen. And that IT person can actually go off and take care of those other projects and not have to worry about spending a day or two trying to get the phone system back up.
Excellent.
So we talked about the right partner program, the right plan, the right strategy. Now we're talking about the right team. So again, for those of you in the audience who are like, well, wait a minute, I'm only a 5-person company. That's a lot of rules. Don't panic. So whether you're a 5-person company or a 500, these all apply. And so, and you'll laugh. You're probably like, what's a striker? I'll get to that here in a second. So of course, when you're building a unified communication and contact center practice, again, whether you've been a long time seller of this or if it's new, you have to have buy-in from the principal. That person has to say, hey, we're getting into this market. It's lucrative, 40 billion in UCaaS, 30 billion in contact center. I want a piece of that pie. So they're all bought in and they're going to communicate that with their entire team. And then of course they have their VP of sales or general manager who is going to be their second in command, who's going to own that target, own that money. Now, granted, that VP of sales may have other buckets. They may have security. They may have, data centers equipment. They may have Wi-Fi. They may have surveillance. They may have all these other practices that they're overall responsible for. But again, they're still going to have a target number related to the UCaaS and CCaaS. So who does the VP of sales or GM need to rely on? Their subject matter expert for UC and contact center, which we call our practice manager. And actually in interviewing all the partners, most of them did call it a practice manager. Some people call it something different, but it really comes down to it's that practice manager. It's that subject matter expert for unified communication and contact center who's going to basically be the CEO of that part of the business line. Because the VP of sales has all these other line of businesses they're responsible for. That practice manager is going to own that. And they have the keys to the kingdom. They're going to provide air cover for everybody. If the principal has questions, they're going to go to the practice manager. If the VP has questions, they're going to go to the practice manager. And if the strikers, which if anyone is a big soccer fan, some of you may already know, Intermedia is the proud sponsor for the San Jose Earthquakes. Strikers are the forwards. They're the ones going out there and scoring. Those are your sales champions, right? So we found that even in a large company or small company, you have to have at least some dedicated sellers that are solely focused on UC and contact center to really be successful and get sticky with this. Now, they may be selling other things, that's great, but really you do definitely need to focus because it is different selling, telephony versus and contact center versus, access points and firewalls and such. So once you've got all that in place, right program, right team, you have to have the right training. And we've already touched on this quite a bit. But again, all of our partners, whether they come off into an authorized program as a reseller or advisor, they have access to all the free training, all the collateral, all the knowledge base, all the intermediate resources, which is a lot. A lot of our competitors, and I've again been in the industry for a long time, there's a lot of vendors out there that when you come in as authorized, you don't get a whole lot. Here you have maybe a little bit of knowledge base, you maybe have, some videos to watch, but you're not going to have access to a full-fledged learning management system the way we do and always being updated. You're not going to have access to maybe a dedicated channel manager. They may be shared. You're certainly not going to have access to, a specialized partner concierge desk. And of course you would have technical support. But when you come in as a strategic partner, a volume partner, where you'd be working with someone like me, then we get all that high touch, instructor-led training. We can customize the training. So we have our standardized training, but we have some folks, they've been selling, again, telephony for 20, 30 years. They may just want to get into the meat of it. We can do that. We make these snackable content workshops that we can go ahead and host for those folks. And in many of the cases, once we get through the online prerequisites and the live boot camps, which they're required because we do have some requirements, obviously, for selling the solution. Again, all provided free training. We then, after that, what I call are the additional touch points. So with 2020, we haven't exactly been able to have office hours at our partners. So what we did instead is we came up with these, snackable workshops where it's basically our office hours with the partner. So whether they're weekly or bi-weekly, We get in, we ask questions, we spend time with them. Sometimes we'll do role playing, but we design it specifically for that partner. So maybe every 30 minutes, once a week, we get in there and we'll touch on certain pieces of the solution. We'll have a Q&A. We'll have the salespeople bring some opportunities they're working on, and we'll dissect those and see how that's going and see what challenges. So we're always trying to ebb and flow with our partners, and we listen to them. So we have constant communication. We always want our feedback from our partners, whether it's how we're enabling them, how we're training them, how we're supporting them. And then we also have partner advocates. So we have a couple of different programs where Kim and her team will meet with some of our top partners and basically like an advisory council. How are we doing? What could be better? What's the solution? So we're constantly communicating with our partners because, again, we are a partner first. We are a partnership, not a vendorship. I'm going to say that a million times today. We are a partnership, not a vendorship. And then all of the marketing collateral, and I've mentioned this many times, but it is unique that we have all this in one-stop shop. We have all these pre-made campaigns in a box. Throughout this year, Kim has been very resourceful. In March, it was, how to work from home. Maybe the next quarter, it was how to open with care. Now we're kind of working from back home again. So we're ebbing and flowing that messages. And we always do so in an effort to help our partners and help our customers. We never want it to be a fear, uncertainty, and doubt scenario. That's just not who we are as a company. That's not our culture. That's not our outlook. We're always looking forward. We're always being positive. We're always trying to help our partners in their community. So we want to make sure that that message is always of a positive nature, that we're here to help. And in doing so, we also have some really cool webinars on a weekly or monthly based on where we are in the time of the year and the quarter. But we've had some really cool things. We've had Robbins present, which was fantastic and very well received. So we're always looking to have guest speakers. We sometimes have our CEO and our CRO on there. So we want to make sure that it's just not content we're doing. We want to make sure it's relevant and it's meaningful. We want to make sure that it's helpful information. So by all means, we have partners, send us topics. Hey, we'd love to hear about this. Great. We'll go out and get somebody. And, we went and got Robbins, which was very, very, very cool. Oh, and I know I talk really fast. Sorry, that's East Coast in me. You can't take the East Coast out of the girl. But I also want to be cognizant for people that are joining because, again, I know it's month end, quarter end, year end. But the highlights for Intermedias, we are partner first. We are channel first. We work for you. We take our partnerships very seriously. We are not a vendorship. We have been around since '95. When we acquire companies, they also have had a long time standing. We're very, very focused on always innovating, always bringing the best out to our partner community and our customers. We want to make sure that when we put our name on something, we can be proud of that, of course. And we have been and will continue to be a trusted cloud business solution provider. I know I've been talking about unified communication and contact center a lot today, and that's, the big hot topic, of course, within 2020. But we do have data services. Again, we're the largest third-party provider of hosted exchange. We also provide Office 365. We have integrations with all of the top CRMs. We have a lot to the solution that I just didn't want to bring to the forefront here. But for anyone who's interested in becoming an intermediate partner, and we'll have that information here in a minute, but they can reach out to us. I can get them in contact with their territory channel development manager, and they can go through all of what we have available to them. Yeah, just had a pause of a brain cramp there. So at the end of the day, we do work for you. If you're interested in learning more, please call the 800 number on the screen. If you're excited, you like what you hear, you like the idea of owning the entire customer relationship, setting your margins, being that, customer first approach with your folks, or if you're interested in maybe doing a little bit of both, dabbling with advisor, dabbling with reseller, please go ahead and go to that URL that you see on there. We'll be sending that out. I'm sure Jeff will be sending that out to folks. You may go ahead and apply right there. We'll have a channel development manager call you straight away to ask or to answer any questions that you may have. But I can't emphasize enough that, we are a partnership, not a vendorship. We're here for you. We know it's been a sensitive year. We want to help. And, if we can keep everybody's lights on, we're certainly going to do our best to do that.
Excellent. Hey, Janet, what are the steps of if someone wanted to become a partner? Walk me through of what that looks like for someone. What's the process in becoming a partner, and even those steps of the two different levels of partner there that you're going through?
Super simple. So when you fill out the form, you're going to choose whether you're applying originally as a reseller partner or advisor. Now, granted, you can be both, but you're going to pick one of those from the beginning, fill out that information. We then receive it. A channel development manager will reach out to that partner and have the conversation as to which partner model they want to go under. And then from that point, we go ahead and we get them registered into the system. Now, if they decide to go into the advisor model, that's great. We'll send them the information they need because they too need to be certified, right? We need to make sure that they understand what they're selling. So they'll take those baseline requirements, and that opens up the quote tool. And then for the reseller side of it, if they want to come in as authorized or as an MRR commit partner, it's pretty much the same criteria. We have, again, all the online requirements that we need to have in order for them to sell and open up the quote tool. But then for those strategic partners as commit partners, we do have some extra level training that we need them to invest in because of the fact that we're investing so much in them as well, right? So it's a mutual investment at that point. So, and that's where I come in, and we host our kickoff call with those strategic partners. We, basically go through who's who in the zoo and intermedia and who it is in the partner level, make sure they understand all the roles and responsibilities. And then we just go through that whole list of, here's what your technical support people will take. Here's what your sales engineers will take. Here's what your salespeople will take. And then who their contacts on our side. Here's your dedicated channel manager, your field manager. And so we try to make it as streamlined and as easy as possible. I'd say the feedback I've received has been phenomenal. I've all the partners that have gone through the strategic enablement, that part of it, that journey, have provided fantastic feedback to us. We're always, fine tuning it. But for partners, I call it old school partnering, right? For people that are used to that old school partnering, that are very much into the relationship side of the business, I've heard, wonderful feedback of our program, that blueprint program, and how it's been helping them out.
And I'm on the website here right now. Is it when they're going through? Is there a cost to sign up? It says it's free to sign up, no minimum commitments, no annual contracts. Can you talk just a little bit about that here of what that looks like for someone?
Yeah, that's correct. If you just sign up as an advisor or an authorized partner, it's free. There's no commit. And actually, it's free no matter what. It's just that if you come in as an MRR commit partner, it's still free to become a partner. It's just that now we have quarterly goals that we're after to maintain that status.
Yeah, that's awesome, because you just never know sometimes if it's something new, if it's an additional company that they're bringing on and they're already selling cloud communication products and they want to expand that out, check out some different areas. They were impressed of what you talked about here today. Just knowing that there's not that commitment, it's being able to get in there, and it's not some huge sign up fee to be able to get on there. And like you're saying, if we're, it's important with it though, on that of the no annual contracts, no minimum commitments, all those type of things, of where you guys are making it risk free for everyone here in the partner side of things, because like you said, I mean, you've been around this community for a long time. You know how important that is on the partner side, of where everyone hates it when you're locked in, or you go in sight unseen and everything looks great in the sales pitch, and then you get in there and now you're locked into a 5-year contract there, and you don't feel like you can sell it of what you signed up for. And so that's super important of going through. So it really looks like, I mean, I went onto the page here, intermediate.net/MSP success, specific to this. Takes you 2 minutes to sign up of going on there to become a partner, have that conversation, see what's the right fit. At minimum, it sounds like to me, at minimum, if someone is out there and they're in the IT space, if they're in the MSP space and they're not selling any type of phones, cloud communications, all these different areas of it right now, that at minimum becoming that advisor level is a no-brainer really of doing, to be able to start expanding into it. They're going to get left behind. Talk just a little bit about, and I know we just have a few minutes left, about all of you had one slide that was a while back of all these different areas of cloud communications and how it all ties in. How much of that is integrations with third-party products that you have with your solution versus having your own ready-built intermediate solutions? I know things like, we joked around on the pre-call on this, that with Zoom, you were kind of fumbling around because you're always used to using intermedia's solution and not having to mess with Zoom. Which is cool from an MSP side, because you could actually, Zoom keeps all the money if your clients are out there buying Zoom direct, you can actually make money on it here with some great video communications. But talk just a little bit about how that works with all those different solutions and what ends up becoming available and what's private label versus ones that you have third party.
So we do own our own tech. So everything's proprietary, which I know it's so funny because I've been in the IC industry for such a long time that there was that time frame, which I'm sure you'll remember as well, as it was all best of breed, best of breed. Do you want to buy best of breed, right? And I was part of that best of breed when I was selling security. And then fast forward to where it is now, best of breed is still great, but the problem with best of breed is that I mentioned before is if your solution that you're providing to your customer, it's 5 different best of breed solutions, and one of those gets sold or gets purchased, and now you've lost that feature functionality. That's painful. And we've got several people that work for us that came from environments recently where that happened to some of their customers. And that's just an awkward conversation to have. It's an awkward conversation to have with your partners, and for your partners to have with customers. And we just want to eliminate that conversation altogether. So that's why when we acquire, we make sure it's fully integrated. So when we acquired our online meeting, fully integrated. So to your question, Jeff, if I launch Intermediate Unite, from my desktop app, I've got all my presence. I can see who's available, which is great, right? And I know people are trying to hide sometimes and putting themselves on busy or do not disturb, but I can see if they're available. I can chat them right away. I can call them from the app. I can start a meeting from the app. And this happens all the time because I'll be speaking with somebody. It's like, look, let me just show you. During the chat, I just click on a little icon and it launches the online meeting. And now we can jump in and I can show them what I'm trying to demonstrate. And then the other part of that is, I mentioned our secure file storage and backup. So we have a product called, when it's sold under Intermedia, it's called SecuriSync, and it's all within that app. So that part I love as well, because if I'm in there chatting with someone and I need to send them a document, I just click on that icon, grab the document and shoot it over to them. So the fact that it's all within that one window makes it just super easy to manage. And that's why I am spoiled. And when I go to use other solutions, I kind of fumble around a bit because I'm so used to having that single pane of glass where I have my files, my chat, my phone call, my video ability, it's all there. And even we have our Contact Center Express, which is our lighter version, which is our homegrown version of Contact Center. It's like work groups on steroids, right? It's basically hunt groups on steroids. So it gives eyes and ears into it. So it's a great way of getting folks into Contact Center without going to the full meal deal of the single channel or omni-channel. They can get in with that. And that's all within that window too, along with receptionist view. So I'm a little spoiled. I like having everything in one window. I don't like to have a million different apps launched. So, and then we're in the process of integrating our contact center. So as of we're looking at Q1 right now to have that full single channel, omni-channel as part of it.
No, it's great. I mean, when you really look at the future of a lot of this from the service provider side of things, of where you have to have these pieces of it, of where as everything has gone to the cloud, a lot of these of different solutions, of where it's just the natural migration and the natural way of going, of where if you're not going to own this piece of it, then someone else is eventually going to come in and own this piece of it. Or it's going to be these large companies that don't want to give you a dime out of it, and they really don't have to, because
No.
they're going to sell it direct anyways there. So intermedia.net/MSP success. Janet, thank you for really outlining all of this today. This is a great solution that's out there. I encourage you guys, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, of just, it doesn't cost anything to sign up to become a partner. Walk through the process, see if it's a right fit for you here. And this is a great thing to be really starting to push here come 2021. You're going to see a lot more of this going. And if you're not doing it, again, your competitors are going to be doing it. It is a foot in the door also for your clients. If you're not offering these solutions and someone else is, they can come in that back door. And so make sure that you get this really done for yourself and your business. So Janet, I appreciate you taking the time today. Hopefully you're not freezing still there in your office with it sitting still for an hour with the heater gone out there. But, I appreciate it. Have a great holidays and Christmas coming up here as well. And thanks everyone on the call today. I look forward to seeing you on our next MSP Success webinar in 2021. Thanks all.
Thank you all so much. Have a great holiday.